Hi everyone, my name is Elena and today I want to share my experience of passing the CAE exam or C1 Advanced. So if you're preparing for the exam or just curious about what it's like, keep watching because I will share the challenges I faced, how I prepared, and some useful tips which can help you succeed in this exam. Plus, in the next video, I'm going to dive deeper into each section of the exam. So make sure that you stay with me and subscribe. In June 2023, I decided to take the exam to grow as a teacher. I also wanted to start preparing my students for the international exams, and I realized that to do this effectively, I need to go through the process myself. I also wanted to improve my English skills, language. I wanted to set the example for my students. So that's how I chose the CAE exam, a globally recognized certification. I prepared for the exam over 9 months with a tutor, having lessons once a week. I also spent a lot of time studying on my own. I followed structure plans created by my teacher. My teacher did a lot of work for me and I really appreciate that. So if you have an opportunity to find an experienced tutor, please do it because it will be even more effectively. But if you're studying alone, you just maybe need a little bit more time, but of course it depends on how much time you dedicate weekly to your preparation. So it depends on your goals, it depends on your time, but in general it took 9 months for me. At first it was a bit overwhelming to balance my preparations with my daily responsibilities, but I tried to stay consistent. Well, some weeks were harder, some weeks were a bit easier than others. There were some times when I felt like I'm not making any progress, but the most important thing you have to do is to understand and remind yourself that every small step counts. Writing was definitely the most challenging part for me. I highly recommend you practicing it consistently at least 2-3 times a week. Watch YouTube videos from the experts or examiners. Learn essential phrases, essential structures for essays, reviews, or proposals. In writing, I often struggled with organizing my ideas carefully, clearly, and it was difficult for me to stick to the time and word limit. My tutor helped me create a structure, gave me valuable feedback, but again, if you're preparing yourself, use some samples, try to use maybe artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, to get a valuable feedback from it. Later, I will create a detailed video how to structure this task, what to include in your writing to maximize your score. I took the exam in Wrocław in Poland because unfortunately that's impossible now to pass the exam in my country. And I went there, my exam started, and the first part was reading and use of English. Then we had 15 minutes break, and after this we had listening, and then we had writing. For speaking, each candidate had a special time slot, and my speaking was in 3 hours, so I had time to go home, have a snack, and then return to my exam. You have a speaking task with a partner because it requires a collaborative task. Also, you will have to describe pictures and answer some specific questions with a detailed explanation. If you are taking the paper-based exam, make sure to have time to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. I made the mistake of underestimating this and I had to rush at the end. For listening, I really recommend you pay attention to the sound during the exam, and if you have the opportunity, register for the computer-based exam. Passed paper-based exam, and the sound was terrible, the equipment was old, and my score was much lower than it had to be, because when I prepared at home my score was always 203, which was actually C2 or C1 grade A, but at the exam I got a C1 grade B. I guess it was 193 or 194, so I wasn't really pleased. Getting my results for the exam took 6 weeks, I guess, and that was really tough because I really anticipated, I wanted to know my result. But you know, when you take the computer-based version, it takes maybe 2 or 3 weeks to get the result. So it's much faster. Again, if you want, you can choose this version. You will have to save your unique ID code to get your results online, and once the results are ready, you can pick your certificate from the test center or have it mailed to you. But remember that mailing requires signing a form acknowledging that the document cannot be replaced if it's lost. So overall, the experience was challenging, but it was really interesting and I learned so much from it. Here are my top 5 tips for preparing for the exam. So number 1, that is practice. Practice use of English and reading regularly. Work on all types of tests, download any applications that are possible to practice all day long. The second one, follow the order of tasks during your exam. You need to start with the use of English section, and then only after this you move to reading, because if you start doing task 7, it is the task about missing paragraphs, you may need a lot of time to do this task, and if you put all your efforts into that aspect, you can notice that there is no time left. So please make sure that you do use of English, and only then you move to reading task. Number 3, if possible, choose computer-based exam version for listening quality. Number 4, for writing, practice essays, reviews, proposals consistently. Learn phrases, learn structures, practice your writing, because that is one of the hardest sections and many people get lower score than they had to. Number 5, don't stress. The examiners and staff are really friendly, and you can always ask some technical questions if something isn't clear. In my upcoming videos, I'll go into more detail about each section of the exam. I'll share specific tips and strategies to help you feel confident, prepared for the exam. So please stay tuned and don't miss out. So that is my experience of the CAE exam. It wasn't easy, it was really challenging, but it was worth it. If you're preparing, remember to plan your time, practice regularly, and of course, you need to believe in yourself. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more content on exams, learning English and teaching. And thanks for watching. That is my first YouTube video, and I really hope that you'll like it. So good luck on your exam journey. Thank you so much. Goodbye.